Hey guys, KiwiSylveon, and welcome to Seduce Me to the Demon War. James is out, and between episodes, I actually put this into Google Translate, and I believe it's saying the price has been paid. You have a devil, apparently. Take fate, or probably accept the fate.
Never.
That hurts. At James's reply to the voice, the mark on his chest began to glow hot red and yellow color, burning further into his skin. I unconsciously ran my hand over my chest in sympathy, wincing at the sight. Busted, duh. I need to stop whatever this was. Dream or not, James was in pain. I threw the door open and rushed in, revealing everything in the room. However, the only person in it was James himself, who was now staring at me wide-eyed in fear. James!
Stay back!
Ugh, that still hurts. The mark began to burn brighter on his skin, ushering me to rush forward and pull on his bonds to set him free. His two bonds held fast against the wall, not moving an inch.
I would rather burn than let you touch her!
What? Are they going to fuck me? Well, that would be reasonable. I stared at James wide-eyed. Was he doing this to protect me? Was this happening because of the protection spell he cast on me? I didn't get a chance to think on it long, however. A bright flash of light erupted from James's body, and I shut my eyes, blinded by the sight. James! My eyes refused to open until I felt myself awaken. I shot up in bed, gasping and clutching my chest. My heart pounded inside of my ribs at a frightening pace as I recalled images from the dream. Despite it not ending with me being attacked, it ended up with James getting hurt. As I thought of James, I quickly looked over to see him still fast asleep. Luckily, I didn't scream to wake him up this time, so I felt relieved that he wasn't ripped from his own rest. That's the last thing we need. Yeah, so apparently, now it's very weird. Oh, it's going like weird. I'm looking at the Google Translate that I did for what the angel said. It still says you have a devil. Like, I think you mean you are a demon. Prices have been paid, demon. I think that's what it meant. I mean, the past couple episodes where I've actually annotated what it could mean, I realized it's kind of iffy because it's one thing to write Latin, it's another to translate it. So let's make sure. Okay, I need to move a little bit. There we go. I had to look at myself because I don't see my face cam like on my game, so I can't tell where it is. So fluffy hair, must pet the fluffy hair. Yeah, so my stylist did my hair awesomely. I love it. My heartbeat began to slow as I silently took a deep breath and let it out. It was a dream. I ran my palms over my eyes and rubbed them gently, calming down at last. I had to get through this. I had to keep my sanity about me. Something in my gut wouldn't let me let go of this dream. Something inside of me ushered me to keep thinking about it, as if I was missing something. Was I overlooking something important? How could that have been? I shook my head and slowly lay back down, curling up against James and closing my eyes again. I had to rest. I had to let it go for now. I'd figure this out later. Darkness greeted me again until I was safe until the morning. I woke up in James's arms once more, slowly blinking the sleep from my eyes as my vision focused on his chest. As I stared, I vaguely pictured the cross burn over his skin, but was relieved to find no such thing there in reality. Yeah, that's the last thing you need. A big cross on your chest to be like, how the fuck? It had just been a dream. It had been just a dream. What? I hate that. No matter what I do, I always find a way to get sick. I looked up to see James smiling down at me softly before he kissed my forehead.
Good morning. Did you have a good rest?
I remembered the nightmare and suddenly became unsure of whether or not the truth is something he wanted to hear. I did rest, but I did wake up from that nightmare during the night. Was it worth telling him? Duh. Always tell him. Be honest with everybody. I should take my own damn advice. I had a nightmare again. I couldn't lie. I shook my head, and the smile on James's face disappeared. As much as it would make him unhappy, it was better to let him know the results of his spell. And of course, my mic's like really weird today. It's like. It's like picking up everything now. I mean, it is, but it isn't at the same time, so it's like. I wasn't attacked by angels or anything, but you were.
I was.
I ran my hand over his chest, imagining the burn from the dream emblazoned on his skin. You were bolted to a wall and had a cross cut into your chest. It was burning and you were arguing with a voice in the air.
A cross. So it was an angel's work.
Fuck you, angels. Why, though? James closed his eyes in thought, trying to figure out why himself, but as he opened his eyes to look at me, his smile did not return. Fuck.
The spell I cast to protect you placed an image of me in your mind, like a guardian. If they came, my spell would have forced them to attack me instead. Luckily, it worked.
James ran his hands over my cheek.
However, you still went through a nightmare, and for that I am sorry.
No, don't be. You protected me. So the dream was part of a spell. I felt relieved that it worked. The side effect was an image of James being hurt. At least it wasn't actually him. I ran my hand over James's cheek, smiling softly. Thank you. At last, James's smile reappeared before he softly took my hand and kissed my palm.
All for you, love.
James, this is why you're my number 2. Sam's still number 1, because you can't. Sam's just too cute and too much of a dick. But a good kind, because he's Sam. A knock on our door, however, interrupted our moment together. Go away, please!
Diana, I have food for you both.
Go away, Diana. Leave me and my James alone. I looked to the door as James called out for her to enter. The door opened to reveal Diana with 2 plates of food, the same meal we had the day prior. She walked over and handed the plates to us before stepping back.
I assume that you both had a good rest.
Kind of.
Yes, actually. We've worked out the angel problem for now.
Diana raised her eyebrow, crossing her arms, but not in reply. Looking at Diana, however, I could see small dark circles beneath her eyes. Did she not rest last night? Diana, are you okay? You look worn out. Diana stared at me for a moment before shaking her head.
I didn't get much rest. I spent most of the night dealing with some uninvited guests.
Should we be worried?
No, I have everything under control.
James is like, should we be worried? A part of me didn't believe her, but I nodded regardless. If she didn't wish to talk about it, then it was better not to ask about it any further. Then turned on her heel and began to walk out of the room, but she stopped at the archway and looked back at me.
If any angels come your way again, tell me.
No. No thanks. With that foreboding warning, Diana left, leaving James and I unable to reply. What could we say to that? James had already placed a spell on me to protect me, and he seemed to be just fine. We would be fine. James and I ate our food before separating to train. Bye, Bae. As soon as I arrived at the library to train, I stopped when I heard Diana's voice erupt from it.
Where is the flower?
I believe you were already informed as to what happened to it.
Do not tell me you are blind to its significance.
I peeked into the room, confused at what was going on. Diana, with a face full of irritated anger, leaned against the mantel of the fireplace as Shadow pored over scrolls, as he usually did. He didn't even look at Diana as he spoke, disinterested at the topic of the conversation. Man, my hair's going to get used. I'm going to have to get used to this.
It wasn't needed for the gate spell, so it was deemed unnecessary. It was tossed out as a result of that judgment.
I'm thirsty. Thank you, Shadow, but I'm thirsty. Yes, I use gallon jugs. Sue me.
You do realize that flower is one of very few out there in this plane, correct?
And this should bother me. Why?
Shadow, for somebody so smart, you are very stupid. I could practically cut through the tension in the air with a knife. The way they spoke to each other spoke volumes of their disdain for one another. Why was that the case, though? They were working for the same cause. Diana almost snarled, which surprised me.
It should bother you, because as consequence of your thoughtless action, I am putting your scouts in charge of finding another.
And why would I allow this?
Oh, fuck. I watched as a dark purple and black flame slowly emanated from Diana's body, causing Shadow to look over, straighten up, and take in the sight.
Because while you are their commanding officer, I am the head of this entire rebellion, and my orders outrank yours.
Yeah, Shadow's face is exactly what I saw the first time. I was like, okay. Diana glared hard at Shadow, but I could feel the intensity of her glare from the doorway, making a hard shiver run up my spine. Where did this Diana come from? I recognized her tone, but didn't want to imagine that this was the real her. As Shadow finally sighed, the tension died a bit.
As you wish. Another will be found without delay.
I wish that XSplit came with like a timer. Okay, my phone's charging. As aura faded and she let out a sigh, calming down from her angry dismay. I am tongue-tied. I swear I know how to read. I know how to English some days. Some days. Something was wrong with how Diana presented herself. Still, she altered her tone.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Shadow could only stare coldly at Diana as she pushed herself away from the fireplace and walked toward the door. Panicked to be found out for eavesdropping, I stepped out of my hiding spot as if I had just arrived, looking into the room. Diana stopped at the sight of me, but closed her eyes and continued walking, arcing around me to get by.
Excuse me.
I watched as Diana left before walking in the library, now concerned.
You know, you are a terrible spy.
Yes, I know. Huh? I looked at Shadow, realizing he knew that I had been listening in to what had happened, and grimaced. Crap! I rubbed the back of my head, trying to calm myself out of the embarrassed nerves racing in my head. Sorry. I was curious about what was happening.
It's nothing to be concerned with, just a waste of time, really. I expect you not to do that again. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. It was better not to question it for now. I would learn eventually, but if Shadow wasn't going to tell me, now there was no way I would be able to force an answer out. Shadow looked over at me, observing me for a moment before nodding and turning from the table.
Well then, shall we begin?
Yes, please! I nodded, prepared to face whatever he had in store for me. What took me off guard was someone coming up and suddenly behind me and placing a knife at my throat. What?
Dead.
I froze. What did she mean? Shadow crossed his arms, raising an eyebrow.
Shama, a little too early.
As the person released me and moved the knife away from my throat, I turned with a hard glare to see the cloaked woman who had been talking to Diana before. She obviously looked to Shadow. Or, she obediently looked to Shadow.
I apologize, sir.
Back to your place.
Shama bowed and quickly formed herself into a shadow, fading into the ground. And Stick Movie began to follow suit, but Shadow cleared his throat.
Pay no mind to that.
No. You can't just say that. What was that? I had a knife held to my throat without any warning. I was not prepared, and, well, that may have been some kind of messed up point about war and not being prepared. Shadow, who was watching, could have stopped it. The only thing that ran through my mind was how my body suddenly became filled with adrenaline. Shadow stared blankly at the question and at me.
A misfired trap. Shama is meant to surprise attack you after I teach you your next lesson. Obviously there was a miscalculation, but that'll be fixed and done properly after the lesson is given.
Well, at least now we know what to expect. Thanks, Shadow. I understood, wanting to be ready at the next time it happened, but something caught my attention, drawing my focus away from his words. I stared at Shadow. I faintly noticed his hair swaying slightly in the air on his head. What the? There's no wind in the room. How was it moving? I focused the attention on his hair, wondering what it was doing as Shadow raised an eyebrow at me.
What are you staring at?
I shook my head and avoided it. Why was I so focused on his hair? It was hair! As I thought that, however, his ponytail suddenly began to move, like a hand tapping its fingers on Shadow's shoulder and on his waist. Whoa! I jumped back, pointing as Erik, earning a smug smile from Shadow. Why is your hair doing that? As Shadow suddenly glared at me, I tensed up.
Are you more interested in the hair or in your training?
I kept my mouth shut. I wasn't going to get anywhere getting distracted. Just like my curiosity with Diana. If this was not a lesson, the Shadow was teaching me properly. Still, my curiosity pecked it wildly at me, wanting me desperately to ask about it. Don't. No. As I stared at his hair, I could feel something frightening coil around my nerves. I didn't want to ask. It was better not to. Sorry, I'll pay attention. Shadow nodded, rolling his shoulders and forming a pure black dagger in his hand. As he looked at me, I understood what he wanted me to do, having watched his hand carefully. He was not the one to actually talk me through anything. Very opposite of Sergeant. Yay. I focused on my hand, trying to imagine a dagger forming within it. I rounded my hand to form a shadow across my palm, knowing that I needed the darkness to help it give shape. Slowly, but eventually, the hilt of a dagger formed in my hand, allowing me to grasp it. The blade quickly jutted out of the end, finally completing its formation, before I lowered it to my side and looked up at Shadow.
Become aware of your surroundings. Your opponent is using the shadow plane, so you're at a disadvantage. But you can still defend yourself, as long as you pay attention.
So that... Wait. So that was why my attention was so important. I mentally wanted to slap myself for letting my curiosity take a hold of me. That was not the time to mope, however. I had to focus. I nodded before looking around, trying to figure out how I was going to find Shama and defend myself before she got to me and killed me again. I wasn't sure how shadows got around the other plane, but I was going to find out. I looked to the ground, not seeing anything pass by me, then looked to the light sources. If I remember anything from the day before, it was that you needed to be in control of the light to distract your target or protect your shadow from being used. I held my breath, trying to focus on the lights versus hearing my breathing whisper through the room. I wasn't going to let her take advantage of me. Suddenly, I faintly hear a flame whip to the side, causing me to turn and see Shama running at me with her knife. I quickly parried, pushing her back.
Good. Again.
As quickly as she had come, Shama vanished once again to hide. I could tell I was going to get a workout. Oh boy. Soon enough, she began to attack in plain sight, turned to the room dark, and even used my shadow against me. I had to move around it all. I continued to fend off her attacks for the entire day until I was excused in my room for the night. Yay! The day at last ended, and I wound up slowly walking towards my room. I was tired and ready to hit the pillow, but as I entered, I stared at who was there waiting for me. James? Fuck. Settle? Settle stood in the middle of the room, staring hard at me as if I had done something wrong.
Do you know what a stone destiny is?
Nope. Not at all. A stone destiny? I had never heard of such a thing. Did it have something to do with the angels? I tilted my head, making Settle sigh and lower his head.
A stone destiny binds a person's entire life towards a specific direction. It could be for good, it could be for evil. However, when a stone destiny is set, almost nothing can stop it from taking its course.
Why are you bringing this up? Settle looked up at me and closed his eyes, resolved in explaining to me whatever was on his mind. What he told me, however, shocked me.
I believe that your fiancé is locked in a stone destiny.
Yummy. I love tea. What? That made no sense. James was locked into stone destiny. What did that have to do with anything? Where did this come from? As Hilda watched my expression, he continued to speak.
There is only one way to forge a stone destiny, by making a deal with angels. If someone is willing to give angels something worthy, the angels can set and seal someone's life as if in stone. If anything threatens to destroy that destiny, the angels step in.
You have to make sure. Have to peep. There we go. And better. That was it. That's why the angels were attacking me. Were after me. If James was tied to a stone destiny, then the only reason they were attacking me was because I was in the way of his fate. How could that be, though? What was his destiny? To become the next demon lord? Something in my mind clicked at the thought. Of course, that had to be it. Boop. I had taken James away from his destiny and was about to marry him. Of course they would be after me. I sat in my bed, shocked and astonished at the news. I felt somewhat relieved that James and I had found a way to stop them, but I still felt the weight of the new information sinking into my thoughts. Settle stepped toward the door and closed it, looking to me.
Breaking a stone destiny is nearly impossible. Nearly.
I looked up at him, anxiousness growing as he repeated the word. There was a way to fix this and set James free? I believe I'm almost out of time, so I will leave it off here. And in the next episode, we will see if we can help break James or whatever from the stone destiny he's in. And yeah, remember to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye!